Hello, this is the first lesson in how to solve Rubik's Cube for people, like my students, who already know how to solve the 2 by 2 by 2 cube. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start with a completely scrambled cube. We're going to solve it by first solving the corners and then solving the edges. That's the overview. What I want to do though is I want to just in this video lay out what the stages are so you can you can recognize when you're at a certain goal. So this is completely scrambled. I mean, I didn't do a good job scrambling it, but for all intents and purposes it's scrambled. Okay. The second stage, the first stage is getting it to this state, which is that all the corners are in the right place. So you see these little X's. Every side will have an X. And one thing you will do is, when you're done with this, the X's may be in place, may not be in place, but the corners may be in place. So how do you deal with that? I want you to visualize the inside of the Rubik's Cube. It looks kind of like this. Okay, so once you have the corners set, you can flick the middle layers around, or you can hold these layers and flick like this. So I want you to imagine that these middle pieces, they really do move independently of your corners. The corners stay still during that whole process. So if I have this, the corners are right but the middles are wrong, well, I just flick the middle layer around, all the different middle layers, until it's just set. So that should be pretty straightforward. So once you have the corners set, get it to the X's state. And then over here is the next stage. So once you get the X's set, what you really want to do is you want to try, so if white is top and yellow is bottom, what you want to do is pick one side at a time of the remaining 4 sides, and you're going to aim to get a pair. So a white-yellow pair is going to be in place at a time. We're going to get this other white-yellow pair. I'm going to refer to them as totem poles, and I'll explain that in another video. But these guys are going to come together, these guys are going to come together, but we don't care about their orientation. So this is what the effect is going to look like. You're going to have mostly white on the top. I mean, there could be 4 of different colors, but each one that's wrong is just going to be flipped. It's not going to be in the wrong place. They will all be home. The top layer will all be home, and the bottom layer will all be home, and it doesn't matter how many edges are flipped, as long as everybody is home. And then the middle layer is just going to do whatever it wants. Okay, this is the next stage. So this is completing stage 2. And then from there you go to stage 3, where you get the middle layer correct. The edges can still be flipped. In this particular cube they're not, but edges can be flipped. But once you get everybody back home, everybody is back where they belong, but things are just flipped. And then of course the final stage is to solve the whole cube. So let's review. So this is stage 0. You start with a scrambled cube, and you begin stage 1 until you get here. Okay, when you get here, then you move to stage 2, and once you get it to this state, where the top and bottom guys are all in the right places, but and the corners never mess up. Once the corners are solved, they never mess up at all. But the edges can flip around. We don't care. But at this stage, all the top and bottom edges are in their homes, but the middle layer we don't care about. So that will be finishing stage 2. And then this is what the finished stage 3 looks like, is that everybody is back home, except edges may be flipped. So that's a finished stage 3, and this would be a finished stage 4. Those are the 4 stages, and then I will have a video for each of those stages.